Welcome inside the CES TV Fieldhouse here in New York City. It's Greg Amsterdam along with Trev Alberts and Brian Jones. This is the CDW rivalry game of the week, and our game is Miami at Florida State. And this is a ball game that a couple years ago was the marquee matchup in college football. Miami's lost 2 in a row. Florida State coming off a loss to Wake Forest 24-21. We're not going to see a lot of offense in this game, are we, Trev?
And you know, you're not. And I think that's the most frustrating thing if you're a Seminole fan, because I think Florida State's the one team that still has talent there. I mean, Xavier Lee is at quarterback, and he's got his ups and downs. But, I mean, you got Greg Carr, Dakota Fagg at wide receiver. Antone Smith is obviously running the ball. The thing that's so frustrating about Florida State is they show glimpses of being the old Florida State. I mean, they'll go down the field for it, and then they'll have turnovers, and they have stupid penalties, and they hurt themselves, and they just haven't been the offense that Jimbo Fisher had envisioned.
Is he making an impact, Jimbo Fisher?
Well, I think he is making an impact, and also Rick Trickett, who's a new offensive line coach, but it's going to take a while for them to build chemistry and get those type of hard-charging offensive linemen they want. They want them a little lighter, a little quicker than what they've had in the past. But I agree. It just teases you, and you think, oh, here they come. They're going to get it together, and somehow they implode. And you look at Miami on the other side.
They were teasing people. They were 4-1.
Exactly. And a huge loss to Georgia Tech here last week. They definitely needed to get that victory. I think Shannon is the best guy for the job, but they've got question marks. Quarterback, is it going to be Freeman? Is it going to be Wright? Those guys are inconsistent. I like the running backs, Craig Cooper. I also like Javoris James. And they still got talent on defense. Everyone talks about Campbell at defensive end. He's one of the best in the nation. But it's ironic. You mentioned it. A few years ago, this would be like one of the marquee games. And now we're barely even talking about it.
I think it's still a marquee game to these kids.
Oh, yeah,
of
course.
That's really the important thing. A lot of these kids played against one another. I will say this. I think the problem with Miami is their offensive line. I mean, you can point to the quarterback playing the rim. They haven't had any good running game because they have good players, but the offensive line hasn't consistently opened holes. Kyle Wright has not had consistent, protection, so he's been sacked. He's under duress. He's throwing interceptions. But the one constant, as you mentioned, has been that defense. And so I think that's the difference. The defense in this game, slowing down Florida State. Florida State's got a fairly good defense. I mean, this could be one of those 10-7, 14-10.
Ugly. 6-3.
Kind of an ugly game. That's just the way it works out, the way the game sets up.
All right, who's going to win? We need predictions.
Well, I think Florida State's going to win the game because overall, I still think that Florida State has better overall talent than Miami does. Now, can they put it together? It's a turnover issue. I mean, Xavier Lee's got all the talent in the world. It's a turnover issue for me and dumb penalties if they get that short up. And I think they've gotten better. I mean, this is a better offense today than it was week 1. So they're getting better. So I think that Florida State gets it done in a close game.
I'm going to go with Miami. I think Miami is reeling from that loss last week. And I think the last 2 weeks, I think Miami gets the job done. They get this victory.
I think it's going to be an ugly game, which hurts both programs. Because remember, South Florida is ranked number 2 in the BCS. You don't think some of these recruits are looking at the ugly style play at Kentucky, at Miami and Florida State and saying to themselves, maybe South Florida isn't a bad option. Also, Florida is red hot right now. Well, there you have the CDW rivalry game of the week. For Trev, BJ, I'm Greg. We'll talk to you next time from the Fieldhouse in New York.